Most reptiles have a three-chambered heart with two atria and a ventricle. And how much the oxygenated and the deoxygenated blood mix is variable. Crocodiles have a four-chambered heart, and some of the snake and lizards have three-chambered hearts, but they become four-chambered hearts during contraction. And you can see a comparison here with a amphibian with a three-chambered heart with two atria and a ventricle to the septated three-chambered heart like you see in turtles, where it's got that septum in the ventricle, and then the four-chambered like birds and mammals and crocodiles have, where the ventricles are totally separated. Now, their nervous system is pretty similar to an amphibian. They have a larger cerebrum and cerebellum though. And their sense organs are pretty well developed, but snakes don't have external ears. They do have middle and inner ears. And their visual depth perception is very advanced. They have 12 pairs of cranial nerves like we do. We've mentioned the sense organs some. They rely on the sight, the senses of sight and hearing. Stated that wrong. Mammals rely more on sight and hearing. Snakes rely on smell and touch. Their eyelids don't move, so they have this transparent frill that covers them, and that does limit their eye movement. They don't have an external ear, a middle ear, or a tympanic membrane, but they use this little ear bone, this ossicle, that's called a columella, to detect vibrations through the ground. They can only detect low frequency sound waves through the air. They smell differently too. They use their tongue to, it's forked, and it brings in minute air particles into contact with that Jacobson's organ that they have. And so they can identify things as prey, predator, or whatever, a mate or whatever, by smell. So their tongue is not for swallowing or taste, but it's for smelling. Some of the snakes have a sixth sense. Vipers, rattlesnakes, and other members of the family of snakes, known as pit vipers, have those pits between their eyes and nostrils that sense very minute temperature changes. It's very sensitive. They can detect temperature changes of 200ths of a degree Celsius. So it's extremely sensitive. They have the same endocrine glands as mammals. They have a thyroid gland in their throat that's responsible for proper growth and development and shedding of their skin. They have a parathyroid gland, two of them actually, near the thyroid that helps them metabolize calcium. And they have two adrenal glands in the tail region that secrete epinephrine, which will increase heart and respiratory rates when they're in a dangerous situation. They have two small kidneys. Uric acid is the main waste product in the snakes. Turtles, like mammals, excrete mainly urea. But their kidneys can't produce liquid urine that's more concentrated than their body fluid because they don't have the loop of Henle that's in the nephrons. And so they use the colon to aid them in reabsorbing water and take up water stored in the bladder. So they will excrete excess salts by nasal and lingual salt glands. Of course, the kidneys are responsible for urine output, so they filter the blood and remove the waste products, which are concentrated, sent by the ureters to the cloaca. They don't have a urinary bladder, so their urine is not stored. It just empties directly into the cloaca. Their immune system is very powerful, so they don't have a lot of infections. Um, they have found that there are, in the crocodile, several antibodies in their blood that kill bacteria that are resistant to penicillin, like our Staphylococcus aureus. So it's also stated that it was also a more powerful killer of the HIV virus than the human immune system.